this is recorded. Okay. Oh, I'm glad I remembered that. I want to make sure that this is recorded for the people who might miss the meeting. But basically, Spotify is starting a new thing. It's called the Green Room. And so they have reached out to me a few days ago because, like I told you guys, I'm building a really close relationship with the people at Spotify. They really love my podcast. They really enjoy my content. So they reached out to me and they said they have this new thing called the Green Room. And basically, how I can describe it, it's like Clubhouse, but way better. And so it's for podcasters, but it's almost like you're doing a live podcast with people. So you know how we do like the Zoom meetings here and they're recorded and everything? Think about it like that. It's like a cross between Clubhouse and Zoom. So basically what people do is that you sign up, you create an account. And so let's say I pick a topic for my podcast. Let's say I'm talking about the Free Britney movement. And I already talked to Goth Boy. He wants to be one of the people to talk on the panel. So I can pick different people to talk on the panel. We talk about the topic, but then everybody listening is able to raise their hand like we do here in Zoom and also participate live during the podcast. And then the podcast is recorded and then you can upload it onto Anchor or wherever you upload your podcast to. And then that way you have a podcast. It's really dope. So basically, unlike Clubhouse where you have to you can't miss anything. You have to be there live. And if you miss it, you're just out of luck. With this, it records it. It records everything. And then you're able to, upload it. Now, what I really like about this and what I really like about Spotify is that they really do look out for content creators. So they're working on my own little deal with them. But I had a meeting with them yesterday. And then we also ran through the app and, any questions. So they had like me and a few other influencers on there. But basically, if anybody here has a podcast or you're thinking about starting one, I would suggest you start one now and you use the Green Room as well, because it's a way to network and introduce people to your podcast and have random people listen to your podcast or your Green Room events. Because what they're going to start doing is that they will start paying creators. So if you are interested in trying to make money on the internet, getting into podcasts, getting paid for your content, I would suggest doing it, because do it now before the rush comes. Like how y'all know how Clubhouse got oversaturated really quick. All the influencers ran over there, then all the regular folks. Well, right now it just rolled out about, I think like 6 days ago. I mean, it used to be Locker Room. So that's what it used to be. And Locker Room was more or less for like people who talked about sports. So like people would have kind of like live podcasts about sports related topics. So they bought Locker Room and now they're expanding it from just sports topics to like celebrity news, fashion, just whatever your podcast is about. You can use the Green Room to help promote it. And you can find like different rooms. So let's say you have a podcast about what is that called? Prepping, right? You can find other preppers on there and then you can tell them, hey, I'm about to do a Green Room / podcast. If you want, you basically send them a notification. They can come listen and, pay attention to your podcast, raise their hand if they want to engage with you. So it's a really cool platform. They really explained it well. We got a chance to test it out. So I wanted to share it with you guys, because I will be doing that. I'm still going to do the Zoom meetings, of course. So the Zoom meetings will still be once a week and the Zoom meetings will stay private. So that's what I want to reassure you guys. Whatever we talk about in Zoom will not be posted onto the podcast. It won't be posted onto YouTube. So I don't want you guys thinking, oh, well, now she's going to upload everything from Zoom to the podcast. I'm not. So anything that's Zoom related is going to stay here. Now, if you want to go and join me when I do the Green Room, and my room is called the Green Tea Room. Shout out to RL, she came up with that. So if you want to join the Green Room, just understand it's not like the Zoom meetings. This is public. So don't say anything that you can't take back. I'm not about to go through and edit and pull stuff. So just be very mindful. If you're talking about somebody, understand they can hear you, okay? They may not be able to see you, but they might recognize your voice. Hold up now. So just be mindful that when I post meetings, understand that if it's a Green Room meeting, it's going to be public and it will be on the podcast, and you're free to join or not join. There's, it's not, there's no pressure. But if you want to join, feel free to. You can come in and listen. If you want to participate, you would just raise your hand, and then you could, speak about whatever said topic that we're talking about. But just understand, everyone, if it's green room, it's public and it's going on my podcast. So that's the only thing I just want people to like keep in mind. But I'm really excited for this. This, like, it just seems like a really dope thing. And especially being that it's tied into podcasting. The old guards are shifting. Like I've said before, the guards are changing hands. And I think right now, social media, they're scrambling, because at this point, a lot of people are leaving Instagram, they're leaving Twitter, they're starting their own social media pages. They're starting their own Discords, they're starting their own members only, type things. And so now I heard from my friend in Atlanta that Instagram is now looking at monetizing people. But of course, they're only trying to monetize influencers, not like regular, people. Like, you have to have a pretty big following, because they're trying to keep influencers on Instagram, because a lot of them are leaving and going to TikTok. TikTok will monetize you once you get to 10,000 followers. You can apply for monetization. Plus, there's all types of sponsorships. So that's what TikTok did, right? YouTube monetizes people, but you have to meet a certain threshold. And so that's one thing I respect with Spotify, that no matter where you're at in the game, they will give you like sponsorship deals. They can monetize your podcast as long as you're doing everything through Spotify or Anchor. You can apply for like sponsorships and things like that. So those are just some things to think about for people, who want to like dip their toe in podcasting, or, try to make their social media presence, or maybe YouTube is not working for you. You can try the podcast game. But I think this is going to be a hit. One, because you can record it, you can upload it onto your own podcast, and then eventually they're gonna roll out a pay structure for people, so that way people get paid for their content. And they said that that's coming in the summertime. So, yeah, if you guys have not heard of it, I just wanted to let you guys know. And I guess for now, it will be open where anybody can come and listen. But I only want people raising their hands if they're from Discord or Patreon. I don't want like random people. I'm not going to allow random people to speak. I guess that's what I should say. I feel like if I do the green room, I want to keep the same energy that we have here on Discord. I don't want a lot of random disruptions, trolls, just weirdos wanting to hear themselves talk. I think people here kind of understand how the meetings flow. We talk, people raise their hands. We've kind of built a really nice pace over the past few months. And so I don't want to have to like figure that out with a bunch of new people. So I think for now, I just really will only feel comfortable with like people from Discord or Patreon raising their hand to speak. So if you do go in there, please use your Discord name. So that way we know who you are, and we can say, okay, well, cool, that's Tim Rican, cool, that's Marquis, that's Umbertone, because we recognize a lot of people's names. If you go with a different name, it might be harder. We may not recognize you. And then if you raise your hand, I'm not going to be as quick to pick you because I don't recognize the name. So, just to keep things kind of making sense. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about and let you guys know. I'm going to do a test run tonight. You guys are not obligated to come. It's going to be me and the mods. If you guys want to come through, I'll post the link in the Discord. We just want to do a test run and just, figure out the buttons, figure out just different options. There's also a chat box in there. So if you don't want to raise your hand to speak, you're also free to chat in the chat box. So it's almost like they put Clubhouse and Zoom together. But it was really cool when I was playing with the Spotify people, when we were playing around with it 2 days ago, we were doing crazy topics about food. And so my topic was, I love pineapple on pizza. And I was like, okay, if you don't like pineapple on pizza, I want to know why. I want all the smoke. So I just had everybody in there cracking up. We were talking about foods that we like and foods that we don't like. So you can basically talk about anything with people, go from there. So I think the first official Green Room stream that I want to do will be about the Free Britney movement. But tonight it'll just be kind of like a free for all, just whatever topics and things like that. So hope I explained that right. Hope y'all get it. I hope you guys join if you're interested. Yes, tomato girl. Pineapple on pizza is my favorite with black olives. Don't judge me. So if you guys want to go ahead and talk, feel free to raise your hands. Let me know what you guys have been up to, what's going on. I see Marcia is in the house. Looks like she's feeling a little bit better. She has her hand up. Let me go ahead and unmute your mic, Marcia.
Hey T.
Hey, how are you feeling?
I'm about to. Family ain't shit. That's what I want to say.
What? Get it off your chest, sis. What happened? They not helping you?
Man, my bitch ass sister, all she had to say in the first place is that I want to help you. She's a narcissist. Man, so first thing first, I got two sisters. So this month, the first time around, I was supposed to have my surgery. She didn't want my niece to come and help me. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna find somebody. Y'all wait, get me. So this time around, finally coming happen. My niece was over here for 2 days trying to get the house ready. My sister got mad. Why you over there for 2 days? I'm not taking you to go get your license when you turn 18. Took her home.
What?
Okay, yeah.
Running the streets or something.
Yeah. And then I had my surgery last Wednesday. Friday, she flipping out. I guess she got mad because her grandbaby, which is my great niece, she really loved me. Like ever since she was in the womb, she would like flip for me and everything. But when she would talk, like her daughter would get real nauseated, like real sick. So she also has some jealousy there. Like she used to do some real evil shit to me growing up. Like I used to have like real long hair. Like she put a relaxer in my hair and made my hair fall out. Like she used to do real like devious shit to me. Anyway, so she took her daughter home the first time from Saturday to Sunday, and then brought her back. And then I was flipping out over on the opioids. So I was flipping out. I guess I was had some like real demonic shit starting to happen in the middle of the night, and I had called my friend.
The medication was playing with your brain, like you were seeing things.
Yeah, and I had called my friend, and she's a medical doctor, and I also trust her. I was like, they're trying to get me, and so she recorded me to help me like see how I was reacting, so I could show my doctor in the morning. My sister heard the word record and who the friend was because she yelled at my sister last year. It was like, now she needs to now. And then I said, all you had to say was you didn't want her. So I'm being here by myself for over 24 hours again. And then my other sister was like, well, she said it was this and that. And I was like, no, the bitch lying. My niece ain't been here for 2 weeks straight. She keep taking her home. She fucking lying.
You have to get a nurse. Why don't you get like a home nurse to help you?
They trying to get me a home nurse. So we finally got in touch with one. So that's what they're trying to do. But every place keeps saying they're understaffed.
Oh, okay. Because of the whole, supply chain, the medical system.
Yeah. And so, and then the weird thing was like, so I've been taking the muscle relaxer, but I was like, fuck Oxycontin. Like, I ain't taking that shit no more. But I had a weird dream that last night I was off the Oxycontin, but because I had prophetic dreams. I had went to Walmart, and this is when they were telling people like stop wearing masks, and a lot more people started getting relaxed with the mask. And then I don't know, I went to Walmart with this woman who I trusted, and the Holy Spirit was like, why don't you have your mask on? And I'm like, I started seeing people coughing all of a sudden, and people just started dropping in the store, and like people are like backing up, and they're like, our mask, like where's our mask? And like I try to hurry up and run to the fabric department and try to find like some cotton material to make masks, and all it was stretchy material, and it was just like stretchy material is not going to work. You have to have cotton. And like, and I tried to run out the store, but by the time I tried to run out the store, everybody was dropping inside the store, and everybody had died from like a very like more potent strain of COVID. And it's because everybody had stopped wearing their masks and started to go herd fucking herd, because they're trying to do a herd immunization with these damn shots. And then ended up doing another strand of COVID that is more like harsh than what they expecting.
Okay.
So just watch out, y'all. Just keep wearing y'all damn masks, because that's what they did. They called me today and asked me if I was showing signs of COVID. So
all right. Well, thank you for calling in, Marquis.
I was like trying to stay on this shit real quick, because I was watching Marquis. She was like, "You better watch this damn time.
You don't play with them time cards." All right.
Love you, Marquis. Love you too.
Love you too. I know somebody was in the chat asking, how do you find me on Green Room? I think you can't find me until I do an official show. I did like a 2-minute show yesterday, but I didn't save it. I was just me poking around. I think once I do an official show, you'll be able to find me. So we'll do an official / not official show tonight, and I'll post the link and everything in the Discord. I'll probably post a link in the Zoom room just to keep it, in sync. But tonight I'll do that. Let me go ahead and bring in Nubla in the Sky. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hey T, do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
You got me in the background.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oops, give me 1 second. Oops.
Okay.
Okay, how about now? Does that work?
Perfect. Yeah, yep, that's perfect.
Okay, well, first of all, I've been missing these Zoom meetings, but I've been catching the playbacks, and it's all been so helpful. I'm in the process of starting my own business right now. I'm starting my own accounting and consulting firm. And I'm hoping that by this year, I quit my job. So I've been so focused on my business right now. So things are looking really good thus far. And I'm very happy that you are starting this whole Green Room thing, because I've never signed up for Clubhouse. It's just too much for me.
So I heard Clubhouse is really going downhill. A lot of people are coming off of Clubhouse because it's gotten really toxic from what I've heard.
Yeah. No, yeah, totally. Yeah. And I at this point, for me, I think a lot of people are kind of feel it's a little bit too much. Like, I don't have Snapchat. I only have Facebook. I have Instagram and LinkedIn and Discord, and that's about it. And to me, that's enough. I'm like, okay, I don't need no more anything else. But Spotify, I listen to Spotify all the time, so this is perfect. Okay. But I do want to say one thing. I'm starting to put the things. I think when the last shows you started talking about how what's gonna happen next, like all these things are happening this year, but we don't know what's gonna happen. I have a feeling. This is like, I know I'm a reach, but I don't care. I have a feeling that these office buildings that they keep saying that people are going to come back, and they're not coming back. I have a feeling that's going to turn into Section 8 housing in the upcoming years. Because Lori Lightfoot, I live in Chicago, she said that she's going to do like a public like housing in downtown Chicago, which is like next to Harold Washington Library, which is like a very like nice area. So I just find it very weird that she's gonna be building like a public housing like in downtown. And I would not be surprised if some of these landlords who own these office buildings, and if this ends up being like a good project, they might end up being, you know what, why don't we turn these empty office buildings into Section 8 housing? And I'm gonna send you this a documentary that I saw a couple weeks ago. It doesn't have a lot of views, but I saw this video and it started to make a lot of sense. And it's about a town in Alaska where the whole town in Alaska lives in this one building. And this one building has a school, has a hospital, has like kitchen, has a grocery store. So basically all you have to do is just be in your building. You don't have to leave, you don't have to go anywhere, because all you have to do is just stay inside. And I wouldn't be surprised if that concept becomes more popular if these office buildings become some sort of like Section 8 housing. And it was a little bit reach, but I'll never forget, I saw an interview from Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. And he said he interviewed some guy from South Africa, and he asked him, like, what do you think about, the future of commercial real estate and what's going to happen? And he said that basically the guy was like in the early 90s. He said, yeah, all of this is going to be housing in the next, few years. And I was like, what? And it's crazy because now all this is happening. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, like, let's not forget Agenda 2030, where they're trying to put all the population into these mega cities. And, and the only way you can do that is to have that, you have to control people. So you have to put them into these like quote unquote mega cities that are supposed to happen. But that's it. That's on my team.
That happening. I could definitely see that happen. That's with all these abandoned buildings and people not going back to them. Everybody got so comfortable working from home.
Yeah, and also too the homeless crisis as well that's happening. We're seeing, and we keep seeing the rent moratorium, and so I have a feeling that that's what's gonna start happening, and I have a feeling like I don't know, like I feel like I know I'm reaching a little bit too much, but I mean like, well, I mean, if you were like a business developer and you own a big building and you know that people are not coming in, most likely you have to start thinking like alternative ways of how to use that, empty office space,
Mm-hmm.
So that's it, T. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. And good luck on your new venture. I'm definitely gonna pop in and listen to your podcast and keep up the good work, T. God bless you. Have a good night.
Thank you. God bless you too. Thanks for calling in.
All right, thanks, T.
So let me go ahead and bring on Devontae Woodson. Devontae, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, T. Hold on, let me get my camera and stuff
Devontae.
set up. First of all, congratulations on your Spotify stuff. Period. We green tea sipping.
Thank you.
Very proud of you.
I
Always
appreciate
been
it.
big. First of all, yeah, I want to congratulate you too on your living situation. You finally got that figured out too. I'm glad you got that figured out.
God, it's stressful.
Yeah, I know. I was happy when you got that. I was like, okay, look at God, T, period. Okay. But okay, so I just wanted to call because I don't know. I think I'm dealing with what we were talking about that one time. I used to be a really outgoing person. Now, I teach elementary school. So of course I'm outgoing with my kids and stuff all day.
Right.
Outgoing in the building all day with the kids, the other adults. But I find it really hard now post-COVID to like mingle with people.
Mm.
And I can't explain it. Like, okay, so today I had a little mixer with my apartments. We were kicking it, all that. Usually I'm the type to like talk to people, mingle, all that. I grabbed a drink and I left. It was too much. There's too many people around. Wasn't feeling it. So I think I'm at that state now where I think that the programming not necessarily worked, but like, I don't know. I don't like being around people like that no more. Like there's a real anxiety now.
Yeah, I think somebody even said in the chat, they said COVID stole my social skills. I mean, that was a lot to like have to stay away from not only, strangers, but like your own loved ones for so long. That whole year and a half took a toll on everybody. And, even now it's just weird. Like even in the hotel, it's like a lot of us are going to be here for a while. So, we should mingle. And part of me is like, do I want to go out there and talk to people? Do I just want to stay in my room all day? Do I want to go down to the pool? And because I seen some man was barbecuing steak, but I didn't know if it was just for him or he was making it for everybody. Like I didn't know what was going on. But it's like you don't even feel comfortable as much going up and sparking conversations. I feel you on that because I used to be where I would just go up and talk to anybody, and and now it's just kind of like yeah. I think a lot of people are going through that. Part of it is stress, and part of it is like depression, and then part of it is still like that lingering fear in the back of your mind, like, is that person sick? Do they possibly have it? Are they vaccinated? Are they not vaccinated? It's like all that stuff runs through your mind. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's still like, I also have these different mindsets about me because like, even though I do have, a drawness back to where I don't really want to talk to people and stuff, I still have, like stuff, like me, my vaccination stance, I ain't messing with the jab, all that. But I found it to where people are like super comfortable, like being, because I live in like an apartment building, right? People be like on the elevator with me and they'll be like, are you vaccinated? Like the fuck? That's none of your business.
Right.
Yeah, like, and it's just crazy to me. You know how many people have had a snap on just like, first of all, don't ask me no shit like that. Like, who are you? Like, you don't get the right to ask me nothing like that. That's super personal to me. That's like asking like, I don't know what to compare it to me. That's just super personal. It's just not to be asked,
Mm-hmm.
So we've emboldened people to, I don't know, pry into people's personal lives, I feel like. And then it's like, you have these conversations like, what are you gonna do if I'm not?
Right, you gonna beat my ass in the elevator? Or you gonna get number one and go to the first floor and go to your car?
Yeah. So I don't know. That's what I'm dealing with. So I just came out here to holler at you real quick. I just
Okay.
had to. So I wanted to say I'm happy for your blessings. This COVID done got me stressed out, and I hope everybody's having a good night.
Thank you. I appreciate you for coming through. All right, let me go ahead and bring on Uni Virgo Soul. I had to like really, I had to like look at your name.
Yes,
I
yes.
want to say universe. How
But
are
you
you,
got
sis?
all right. I'm in the universe. Just look at the background. I'm in the universe. Hi, T, and congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
want to say I feel better because I don't know if you remember, but the last time I was ever able to speak, I was coughing up a storm. I could
Mhm.
speak because it was so bad, the asthma. It felt like saddlebags was on my chest, and I've been trying to come back and speak and say I'm better, guys. Since, but it's been a lot. But I just want to everyone to let you know that I do feel better because I know there was a lot of people checking on me. I feel
Good.
so much better now. Like that was the most horrible asthma and allergy thing I've ever went through in life, and I never wish that on anyone. It almost made me go get the coronavirus vaccine for me, but I didn't. I still didn't. But I almost did because I was scared. But yeah, I feel better, and I'm glad to hear that you're doing great and you're coming out of all the things that you were going through with the move and the signing, all that. That was a lot, and I was feeling for you. I'm like, oh, she's dealing with that and her health, and I don't want you to be stressed, and And then I
Right.
was missing too because I was like, I know she's doing her business and moving, but I'm like, today I can use a Zoom. Where's she at? I was getting used to you were spoiling us with the number one. What's on your mind? 4. When we done got to 4, I was like, Lord, she's spoiling us now. So then one day I was like, I got something on my mind. And you know what was on my mind? I needed to get something off my chest. The fact that I have, a teenager, I have 4 children.
Mhm.
I have a teenager, and my teenager did the most, I don't know, like the most teenagery thing to do these days in this world. She goes on a field trip after graduating and brings an edible and gives it to a friend. And then the friend got sick off the edible. Where she got the edible from is my biggest thing. Who gave my child his drugs? Then the second thing is, why would you give it to some other person? Why wouldn't you just let that be your own thing? Like, you want to put that in yourself, do that to yourself. But why you got to include someone else's child who end up having to be hospitalized because she wouldn't start coming up? Yeah, it was horrible. So I was just like, I need someone to talk to. I got to get this off my chest. I need the support of my
Yeah, some of
Discord.
them edibles are very strong.
Yeah, I was talking to another parent. She was like, I was hallucinating, girl. When she told me her experience with it, I was dying. I was like, oh my goodness. But, I know it's a mistake, but my thing is the way that they're advertising it, and I knew this was going to happen. The Willy Wonka bars, the nerds, the
Mhm.
Snatch kids, like
And
kids
they're
are,
good.
they're gonna want, they are good. They're
I
gonna want
like the Skittle ones, and somebody about hell, I'm not gonna bless nobody, but yeah, I've had a few. They're good. But then you gotta stop yourself, because then you gotta remind yourself it's not candy,
and it's gonna
but it
kick in
tastes
some.
good like candy, and it's packaged like candy.
It's packaged. Even the weed is packaged. Like the packaging for the weed, I can, because I smoke. They got these packagings looking like,
Is that a jersey?
it's a jersey, and this is a package.
Wow.
This is a package. It's like a jersey. It says Backpack Boys 33. That's something for kids, like boys. I can imagine the boys that play basketball want to
Right.
play with, do that, want to use that. They're always looking like something that like a kid would want to touch. Like literally, I have to tell my kids.
I don't know if you remember the podcast that I did a few weeks ago with BL. Remember, I was saying that I was having a conversation with my homeboy about, like, back in the day when people sold weed. And if you know somebody nowadays is still selling like nickel bags of weed or, dime sacks or just whatever, people laugh at them. Like, you're still selling weed? Like, who the hell is still selling weed in 2021? But if you have edibles, you're like the man in the hood now. What, you got edibles? You got, so it's almost like we've been conditioned now where it's the same thing. It's still a form of weed, right? But it's like when it's edibles, you're the man and, oh my God, can you let me place an order? But if you just got like a regular, 20 sack, a dub sack of weed, then it's like, like people are side-eyeing, like, who the hell is still walking around selling nickel sacks of weed? So yeah, you're definitely right. Like, it's become more commercialized. And I think that's why these kids are not understanding that it can take you to certain places.
Yeah, I was so mad at her. I was like, but I would have did. The funny thing about it is that I was 15. I was smoking, drinking, having sex. Listen, and I was just saying the day before, and I told my friend, I said, I won't never say this. I won't speak again like that before. I was like, I'm thankful that my 15-year-old doesn't do any of the things that I used to do. She doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke, she doesn't have sex. And the next day, this happens, and I was like, what the fuck? Why? And I found even a little roach, one of my roaches in her thing, like she was trying to pull it in. I remember doing that too when I was younger. When my grandmother used to smoke cigarettes, I used to go in behind her and smoke the one that she just smoked so that she wouldn't know that I smoked it. Like this girl, she got me like I can't trust her. I don't want. I'm like, give me all the money. I don't bust her head to the white meat. I want to find the person who gave it to her. She's talking about Carlos. I'm like, you protected someone. There ain't no Carlos, but where he at so we can roll up on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, where's Carlos at? So I can roll up on him and let him know what he did to me. Because I had to deal with the school, social workers, the parent talking about she want to sue the school, which is going to push them to have to do something to me because it was my child who brought it. And then I found the evidence.
Also, it ended up being a real big deal then.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal. I was so stressed out that day. I was like, where's the Zoom meeting? I got something on my chest. I got to get off. I was so upset. I bust her head to the white meat. I sure did, because I was like, you just fucked up. And I work for the department, like a children and families. I work. So now you want me to lose my job potentially or put it at risk? Like I was so upset. I was so upset because I'm like, I taught you better than this. Yes, I do smoke weed. And then like some parents, this is another thing I wanted to say. Some parents were saying, well, I wouldn't want her to do it in my house with me around if she wants to try it. I don't even want you doing it that way. Do that on your own time, not where I know about it. Because
I have friends who smoke weeds with their kids. I can't get down like that.
I don't get down like that.
I can't be high with my kids. I don't know why. It's just me.
I remember being in school with the parents who did used to do that, and them kids hated their parents. They weren't cool. They were like, she get on my fucking nerves, and they would like tell them, because it's like you're basically smoking with them. They're like, think you're a friend, and they could talk to you like. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that with my kid when I grew up, and I seen that as a kid with other kids smoked with their parents, and I was like, my mother don't do no drugs. She don't allow that shit, and I'm not allowing it with my child. And look at me, I'm fine, so she'll be okay too. She'll figure it out.
Yeah, but you can't control them once they get to a certain age, but you don't have to enable them either, you know? So I'm
not going to you to do something. I always tell my kids when I'm drinking or I'm smoking and they see me, I'm like, don't ever get into this, because now look at me. And I'm fighting all the time to not drink sometimes when I be stressed as hell because of these damn kids and I want to fade out, or not smoke because I just want to save my lungs a little bit. So, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta figure it out, and it costs money. I told them you gotta support your habit. And my mother always told me, if you can't support your habit, don't do it. So that's and I don't want her starting to steal money from me because she want to support this habit because she got this new high mentality. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty nervous, and anybody who can give me any advice as a parent how to deal with this, because I'm still dealing with it. Like I had to send her away for her own safety. But, you know, I got her back and I'm going to talk to her, but I just.
Yeah, that's all you can, like, kids are going to make mistakes. They're going to mess up. You know, that's just part of being a teenager, because we all did messed up stuff when we were younger. And I just think, you know, just talking to them, and this is like her first real big mistake that she's done. Oh, she's going to remember it. You know what I'm saying? She's going to remember it, and it's going to be something that she will not repeat again. But, you know, you got to just let her know, like, the circumstances and what's going on. And, you know, let them feel comfortable enough to talk to you. Like me and my youngest son, we had a conversation yesterday. Because I was coming back towards the house to go pick him up. And there was a little boy that got pulled over. And I'm like, damn, that little boy looks young as hell. So I ride past, I go pick up my son. And I was like, some little young boy got pulled over by the police. And he was like, one of his friends that I've met before, I think Eli or whatever. And he was like, oh, you know, he got pulled over the other day. And I said, well, does he have his license? Because all y'all are 15. So I guess what ended up happening is a little boy stole his parents' car.
Oh.
Now, my son had spent the night at his other friend's house. So it was 3 of them at the one friend's house spending the night. So he done stole his parents' car, came over to the house of the other kids. So he said he wanted to take them on a ride. So the other 2 boys, they were literally about to jump in the car. And my son told them, no, I'm not getting in there. He's like, I'm cool, I'm not getting in the car. And so he said, literally, as soon as he chose not to get in. The other one's like, okay, fine, we're not gonna go either. So the boy kept driving. They said he got pulled over right at the corner by the police. Like the police swarmed him. And I explained to him, I said, that was so good that you didn't jump in. He said his friends were like telling him, like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, because they would have all got in trouble because they don't care at that point. Nobody has a license. You just got your blue permit, so you would have had to start all over again. So sometimes it's just not scaring kids, but just always reminding them of, like, you know, things that can happen. And that's one thing I have reiterated to him when he got his permit, you know, like, okay, you got your permit now. Don't be sneaking taking my car. Because they had a cousin who did the same thing when he was in kindergarten. He was 14. They had all spent the night. It was a bunch of kids. It was about 6 kids. They all spent the night at Lucas's house. Okay. Now, their cousin was 14 at the time. There was also a 17-year-old hanging with them. Why, I don't know. The 17-year-old talked the other 14-year-old into stealing his father's car keys. They all jump in to go for a joyride. This is in the middle of Minnesota, icy roads. The one boy, the 6th boy, said he didn't want to go. He stayed out the car. He's like, I'm not going. Y'all are taking his dad's car. I don't want to have nothing to do with this. So he stayed home. The little boy whose dad's car that they took, he jumped in the car. My kids' cousin was in the passenger seat. The 17-year-old was driving. And then there was, you know, 2 other boys in the back seat. Long story short, the boy is speeding and he ends up smacking dead into a pole. He killed himself instantly, and my kids' cousin flew out the window and died on impact. He was 14. So those are just things that I remind them, you know, like, life is precious. I understand, like, kids are gonna make mistakes, because I can't tell you how many times me and my friend drove with no license and, you know, took her grandma's car to go to the store. You know, like, thank God nothing happened to us, but it's like we did all types of things. And then I always try to reiterate to them, especially with boys, letting them know, like, these rules are different now. Like, you know, think about when we was younger, teenagers were allowed to make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So you might go to juvie, or, you know, you might get a citation. Now they're trying to give kids felonies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is no kids will be
That's
kids.
scared. That's what
them in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that's scary. So the little boy who got pulled over, his parents got to go to some type of parenting class. He's been charged. He has to go to court. So it's all this mess. But imagine if my son and them 2 other boys got in the car with him. They'd all been in the same boat. And I said, and you as a Black kid, they might have lied and been like, it was the Black kid who made us take it. You know what I mean? You just never know. So you just got to reiterate to them. They're going to make mistakes, but just always talk to them about real world scenarios. And eventually, like, I was just so happy when he told me that he just chose not to go with them. And I'm like, he was like, you were right, the stuff you've been telling me, you know, so just have those real conversations with them, you know, and especially if this was her first mistake, just keep reiterating stuff to like that. And just let her know that you love her. She made a mistake. She's not a horrible person. You got kids out here doing worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, all kids are going to be curious. You know, kids want to try stuff out. They think they're grown. So that's just the thing. Like, okay, yeah, I beat your ass, but I love you. And now we're going to talk about why I did that, why I'm upset. Look at all the consequences. Now we're going to make sure that you don't do that again. Because the way things are being made now, who knows what was in that edible? Like I did in that podcast, I was telling y'all, they're not putting fentanyl in the weed. So who's to say they're not putting fentanyl in edibles? And then these kids don't wake up. And it's like, well, all they had was a brownie, but what was in that weed to make the brownie? So that's something you can also tell her as well. You know, that she needs to be very careful out here dabbling with random people's, you know, drug supply, because she doesn't know where that weed is coming from. Because there's a lot of sinister stuff going on out here where now there's fentanyl in the weed. You got to be an evil person to put something like that in weed. Nobody was dying from weed when we were kids, but now kids are overdosing from weed. So make sure you reiterate that to her and let her know it's not just you being on some do as I say, not as I do. But you got to understand, when you're sneaking and doing stuff, you might get yourself into a situation where you don't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's true. Thank you so much, T, for your advice. I swear, I just felt like I you know, as a parent, I was a young parent, a teen mom. So like, just seeing her go through these things, and I'm just like, you could be better. Okay, time. I gotta go. But thank you so much, guys. I love you all.
We love you too. Keep your head up, and thank you for coming through, sis. So I hope that advice helps her and helps other people You know, teenagers are gonna be teenagers, they're gonna be teenaging and doing stupid stuff, you know what I'm saying? But just always just reiterate to them the good and bad and everything, you know, so they can make those smart decisions when you're not there. Let me go ahead and bring on Arlia. I think I said that right. Go ahead and unmute your microphone. Arlia or Alia? Maybe I said it wrong. I don't know. She's not unmuting herself. Let me go ahead and bring on Jen Discord. Jen Discord, go ahead and unmute your microphone. Jen Discord. Does anybody want to talk? I don't know. Nobody's phone, microphone is getting muted. Okay, let me go on to Tierra Monet 12. Tierra Monet 12. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Mic check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you. Hey, sis.
Ooh, hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm so glad you had the Zoom meeting because I was so frustrated earlier.
Oh, what's going on?
So a lot. I'm like the first chick with family issues. So I'm gonna start with my auntie. I haven't talked to her in a month because every time we talk, she asking me about, oh, when you get vaccinated, it's free. I already got mine. All my kids got theirs. Yada yada yada. I'm like, first of all, you're diabetic. Your stomach hangs between your legs.
Oh,
You eat bacon every morning. Stay at churches, stay at Popeyes, stay getting donuts. Like, why? Doesn't matter what I'm doing with my health. Like, that is so annoying. And then I just felt like I was at the point where I was about to say, like, Aunt blank. I'm not gonna say her name in case she's creeping somewhere.
right.
Your stomach literally like hangs between your legs when you sit down, and you talking about my health. Like, no. Then my cousin, she gonna hit me up talking about, oh, let's start a business. I'm tired of being broke because I'm in the process of, moving some, pieces around. And I'm like, okay, what type of business? Oh, I don't know. I'm just tired of being broke. Okay, well, once you get an idea, you hit me up and let me know. And then my daughter, she getting on my nerves too. She does like, she's a kid, so kids do stuff that's not impressive. She'll come in here, mommy, watch this, spin around or something. Like, okay, that's I'm not impressed, but thank you. And then my dog, he's 6 months now, so he got nuts and he want to hunch anything in sight, acting crazy. It's just a lot going on, and I just needed to vent.
It sounds like
yeah.
it is. Yeah, I don't understand everybody like trying to force people to like get the vaccine. My thing is,
especially when they're unhealthy.
Fine.
Yeah.
You said what? Especially when you're unhealthy?
Yeah, like especially like when you're talking about, oh, it's good for you or it's healthy, this is what you need to do, but you don't take care of your health any other way. Like, bruh, you've been eating Popeye's chicken every day since I was a kid, since I could remember. Like, I know your throat, you got to have some type of throat issues from eating them biscuits or something, because like I don't understand. Like,
yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess out here. But yeah, everybody wants to be in your business as far as that vaccine goes. I've had people do that to me too. Like, you should be vaccinated. You're high risk. I'm like, no, I'm cool. But I don't understand.
Right.
You're not. You're high. That's fine. And I'll keep being high risk. I'm not getting it. No. Did you get yours? Yep, I got mine. Well, then you should be fine, right? You should not be worried about me giving you anything because you're vaccinated, right? Like, I don't understand. Like, just leave me be. I'm not knocking you for getting it. But yeah, I got family members who do the same thing. They say I'm being irresponsible. I said, well, that's fine. Let me just be irresponsible in this hotel room, minding my business. So it is what it is. I think she needed herself. So thank you, Tierra Monet. Let me go ahead.
Whoops, my bad. Thank you.
Oh, no, you're good. Thank you for calling in, sis. So let me go ahead here. We're going to just go till 10 o'clock, and then I'm going to move over to the green room. Ayanna Fletcher, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Oh, hi, T. What's up?
Hey, Ayanna, how are you?
I'm good. Am I echoing at all? I'm using my Bluetooth.
No, you sound good.
Okay. So I'm Okay, so I'm like I just noticed some things about like this pandemic that I thought was just crazy.
Mhm.
Like I've always been like an introvert, so I never really talked to people on a good day, so it didn't really affect me. But what I noticed, like ever since I became a sales representative in the pandemic where I have to talk to people, I've actually became more and more social, and I noticed like extroverts, they became like more and more unsocial, which is weird. And even like now as a sales representative, when I'm just talking to people, it's just crazy how everyone's kind of like they don't want you to just say hello anymore. Like they have like this weird type of reaction, like because I work inside like Walmarts and stuff, selling internet and stuff. And
Mhm.
even the Walmart employees, they're like, hey, all I do is just greet people in the morning and say, hey, how are you? And I check receipts, and the coworkers are saying I keep getting mean responses just from saying hello. And I just thought, that was just something that just crazy about the pandemic. And I didn't know if people were always that way or if it's just the pandemic that just triggered this at all. But I don't know. Have you ever experienced stuff like that?
Like what?
Where people are just like hostile just from like a simple greeting, or they're just like,
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't even think it is necessarily the pandemic. I just think it's just a lot of stress. It goes back to saying we just don't know what everybody's going through. Like everybody's going through something right now. And if you're not, God bless you. Literally everybody I know is going through something. It's never, let me go ahead and unmute you. For some reason, I muted yourself. Is it okay for them to snap and be belligerent and go off? No. But I remember it was a story that one of my old team leads told us in IT. And before she was doing IT, she was like a flight attendant. And she said, like, she had asked this guy, did he want some water? The guy told her yes. She went to go pour it for him. And then, like, he took and he just splashed the water in her face. So, like
wow.
the average person probably would have been ready to beat his ass. And she
Mhm,
just went and grabbed some napkins, wiped herself off. And of course, she was upset. But
mhm.
as they were deboarding the plane, the wife pulled her aside and apologized for her husband and told her, like, I'm so sorry for his behavior. We just found out that our daughter was killed while we were on vacation.
Oh
You know,
no.
does that excuse what he did? No, but she understood it. So
Mhm,
sometimes that's why I try not to take certain things too personal, because you just don't know what somebody is going through in their own life and why they're snapping like that, especially if they don't know you personally,
mhm.
So I think to just look at things like that, to just not take it too personal. Like, let me just go ahead and get that person their space. You're not gonna keep cussing me out, but I'm just
Yeah,
gonna leave you where I found you. And then maybe they'll swing back around and apologize or explain what they were going through when they did what they did.
yeah. And also, I live in Vegas, by the way. And honestly, going on to, I know it's pretty late, but going on to that drought situation, we
Uh-huh.
haven't had, we keep having like rain clouds, but no rain over here. Like it hailed in one part of Vegas, but it's just like literally, it's been like all summer, it hasn't been any rain. And we're at that point where with the drought, they're telling us we can't have unnecessary turf anymore. Meaning like grass in front of your yard, you can't have anymore. They don't want us to have grass anymore. They want us to replace it with rock, and they want to pass a law to ban grass because they can't afford for us to be watering plants or doing agriculture because the drought situation. So I just want to also update you on that.
Yeah, we're dealing with it here. We finally got some rain last week. Like, it rained really hard and we needed it. But yeah, most people's grass is like literally dead and like just crunchy. So it's bad. Like the whole heat wave, especially on the West Coast, it's really, really bad. And meanwhile, everybody in the Southeast is getting all this rain, which is like the weirdest stuff. So, but thank you
But
for
that's
calling in, sis.
Thanks, T. Take care.
You too. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and bring in Dania. Hope I said that right. Dania, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hi, hi,
Your phone is breaking up.
Auntie. How you guys doing?
I'm gonna mute her. Dania, your phone is breaking up. It's sounding really, really robotic. So you might want to get, because it looks like you're frozen in place. So you might want to get to a good spot and I'll come back. I'll swing back around. Let me go ahead and bring on somebody that was here that we hadn't talked to before. Elon Musk is last monkey. I don't think we've talked to them. I see them in the Discord though.
Hello,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
All right. Thank you for letting me speak. I just wanted to say, during the pandemic, it's actually like helped me a lot. Like I'm going off to college soon,
Mhm.
and this pandemic, it's just helped me like realize, like do a lot of self-reflection, reevaluate my circle, help me. Like I've been watching I watch your live streams like every single day. It's to the point now sometimes like I know what topic you're about to hit on next. Like it's pretty crazy. But I've been taking your advice and just been reflecting. I started therapy and stuff. So I'm just excited for the next chapter of my life. And if it wasn't for your videos, I don't know how I would have made it through. So, and my therapist. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate all the work you do, and congratulations on
Thank you. You're
Spotify.
so sweet. What are you gonna go to school for?
Information technology.
I know that's right. Get them coins.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's what's up. I'm glad that you said that and you weren't saying I'm going to school to be an actress. Yeah, them is the jobs that pay right now. Especially if you're doing IT, getting into, we talked about it before, network security programs, things like that. Because
Yeah, I'm actually getting certified. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good.
I'm actually getting certified and trying to get certified like Excel and Access right now, so I can just go ahead and get a jump start on my career after I graduate. So it's
Good.
definitely the wave. It's the future.
Exactly. Well, no, that's good. Well, congratulations to you and good luck on all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
So let me go ahead and bring on Little R5779. Little R, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hi, T.
Hi, we can barely hear you.
Hi, everybody. I am a Facebook teacher. I've been here for years, and I wanted to bring up, and
We can't hear you. I think it's muted. Yeah, now I don't know if she. Think you muted yourself. We can't hear.
There, can you guys hear me?
Okay, that's a lot better.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, perfect. We can hear you now.
So I wanted to bring up a situation that happened today. So at work, I work through an agency, and my on-site is encouraging everybody to get the vaccine. We get paid 4 hours of work plus $100, I think, on the side. All these free goods and all that according to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps telling me, like, why don't you get the vaccine? You should get the vaccine. And they're gonna offer to give the vaccine at my job. They're gonna come and give vaccines at the job. He got COVID.
Oh, the boss?
And yes. And
The
he
boss
has,
who got the vaccine got COVID?
the one that's telling everybody, and the ones that, we get along, but he's always on my case, and he's always on my case, joking around. And he tells me, "Oh, why don't you get the shot? They're gonna offer it. I'll give you your pass so you can go get it." I'm like, "I'm good." It's like, and he keeps telling me, "Why don't you want to go get it?" I'm like, "Why am I trying to break? Why am I trying to fix something that's not broken?" I mean, when I had COVID, and this is not to belittle COVID or make light of the situation, but I'm more than anything. I lost my taste and smell.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the big signs for me, and I was short of breath. But I could still exercise, I could still run, I could still do everything. I would just get tired more easily. Other than that, I was good, and I'm one of the few that are blessed to not have it that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But and I told him like my body reacted good to COVID. Why would I want to put something on my body that I might not even need because my body did good with it? He's
Right.
like, oh, but you still, and that's the irony. The irony for me is this shot. He himself has been encouraging people to get, yet he got it with the shot. So it's like,
The irony.
okay, are you, yes. And I wonder now, I'm like, are you still going to be pushing this vaccine on me, thinking it's going to save my life? Because he tells me, and I told him the same thing you said. As long as you're vaccinated, homie, you don't got to worry about me. But now I have to be worried about you.
Right.
And I tell him, like, just joking around, I'm like, you know what? My religion doesn't let me. I'm like, I'm a new Jehovah's Witness.
I'm
He's just
starting to
like,
think some of these bosses and some of these companies, are they getting a kickback for everybody that they vaccinate?
exactly.
Okay, look, Australia is agreeing with me. Australia. I'm
Exactly.
starting to think that there has to be a check somewhere to get, because they're pushing it too hard.
Exactly. Me and my baby daddy were telling, because see,
Uh-huh.
had a similar situation happen at his job.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that it wasn't with him, it was with his coworker. She doesn't have the vaccine. And he said that HR called her on the low,
Mm-hmm.
telling her, get the vaccine, you know, I'll give you money. I'll pay you if you go get your vaccine. And he kind of looked at it suspicious, because he's like, okay, because she said, between us, is there anybody around you? Like, trying to bribe her. Like, I'll pay you if you go get the vaccine. What are
Right.
these companies getting out of it? Because there's no way they're putting so much pressure into us getting the vaccine, and then for them just to be cool. There has to be something. They're getting the problem, even tax write-offs, anything, something that's making them pressure their employees to getting their shot.
Yeah. Somebody said they get a tax credit. Yeah, there has to be something in it. And that's what I've been saying from day one, that's the part that scares me about the whole vaccine. It's not so much about getting the vaccine. I've gotten vaccines in the past, but one, because this vaccine is so new, but two, the incentives. If it's so healthy and it's so good for me, why do you need to give me a free joint? Why do I need to get free chicken? Why do I need a trip to Valley Fair? Why do I need to be entered into a lottery? It just doesn't make sense. They've never done this for the flu.
See, it's been a year and a half since COVID. We've had the vaccine since November or December. They got the vaccine out faster than the FDA can approve it. That's pretty stupid if you ask me. The FDA hasn't approved it. It's been over a year and a half. The vaccine has been out since November and December. You mean to tell me it's been 6 months already and you still can't approve it? I'm
Right.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. And can I
Marquis Pastos.
I know, I saw her. I'm like, okay, my time's up. But can I bring up something up real quick?
Okay,
so
real
you
quick.
Yeah, just so you can look at it into it yourself or on the side. But there's a lot of 17-year-olds that are being, and I wrote this on the Discord, that are being recruited. They're being looked for at school. They're not even 18 yet. They're making appointments with these parents, trying to hustle them to get their sons to sign up to the army. And it's making me suspicious, because this has happened to me. I've had people come to me and ask me questions, because these families aren't people that grew up here. They're from other countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're asking me, is it normal? Is it okay? I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, don't you dare sign any paper. I'm like, if you're curious and your son is curious, you can go and ask questions, but don't you dare sign anything, because once you sign something, you're under contract.
Right.
So it's also making me wonder if, since there is a scarcity of employees, I wonder if there's a scarcity in soldiers as well, because it's ridiculous that they're looking for these kids that are not even out of high school yet, that have not even graduated. You still have 1 year to go in high school, but yet the army's already looking for you.
Yeah, I remember they used to recruit when I was in high school too. I remember our recruiter person was this lady named Robin. She was this big buff lady. I mean, she was buff. And she was like, you should join the military. Now, mind you, I'm probably like 115 pounds. I was like, absolutely not. I'm 115 pounds. She was like, no, it'll be good for you. And I was like, no, I'm good now. I'm cool. But I remember but I remember her being in high school.
Yeah,
so,
but
I mean, it's like new, like a new
personal cause. These are
personal.
personal
No,
calls.
she never called our house. She got hung
Personal
up.
calls to these parents. So I'm wondering if the schools are also sharing these the students' information when they're not supposed to.
Now that's something different.
Because these are not two. This is not the okay. I live in LA. I live in Compton.
Okay.
One of these families is in one district, and then I have another family in a whole separate district, and they're both getting calls.
Okay. So it's not just the unified LA school district, it's other ones too.
It's Montebello. Yep.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I wonder what's going on because schools, just like hospitals and clinics, aren't supposed to be sharing their clients or patients' information. So what the fuck is going on?
Huh, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that.
All right.
Yeah, they're not allowed to call your home. I've never had Robin call our home.
And setting up meetings. Because I do remember them coming to school and, you know, they would do their little booths and you would, if you're interested, you go out to them. Yeah, none of that. Personal calls, meetings, getting pretty much harassed by the military, telling them, let's meet up and see what we can do for your son.
It sounds like World War III to me, but you know, I be reading, honey. All right, little R. Thank you so much for calling in. Thanks, sis. Let me go ahead and bring on 10-4 Rican. 10-4 Rican, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, hold on a second. I'm like trying to find buttons here and everything. I'm having some technical difficulties in life.
There you go.
Hey everyone. So two things. One, I've been dealing with since last week, attempted identity theft.
Oh.
Yeah. So it started with I logged onto my TD Bank account and I seen a checking account that I didn't ask for. It's a joint account with me and my husband. I contact my husband. He's at work and I'm like, did you try to open up an account? He was like, no. He goes and checks his accounts. All his accounts look fine. So I'm like, okay. Call up TD Bank. They're like, oh yeah, somebody opened it through the. So I'm like, yeah, that ain't me. So they, give me all the information. Now I got to flash forward back to March. I got an email from HR back in March that someone attempted to file an unemployment claim in my name. And that, they basically declined it because they let New Jersey know, like, no, she's still employed. So I was renewing my passport at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm not really going to do anything yet because I want my passport to go through because I'm traveling to Japan at the end of the year. So I'm like, okay, now all of a sudden I have a bank account showing up, froze all my accounts, right? Like I did the credit freeze on all 3 credit bureaus and even check systems. I filed a report with the DOJ, with the state of New Jersey unemployment claim and at the FTC, like they have an ID theft like thingy. And basically it's like, okay, there should be no more stuff going on in my accounts, right? This week, 2 additional accounts popped up on my TD Bank. And 2 different times, someone tried to go on my regular Instagram account to take over my password. What? Yeah, I was like, why am I getting emails from Instagram like, oh, you're having trouble logging in? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not having trouble logging in. Like, what the hell? So I had to add
so they're not only trying to log into your personal banking info, but your social medias.
It's just
somebody that you maybe know, because how would they know? You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm thinking, that it might be someone I know now, because it's like, how is it that it went from an attempted unemployment claim, then these bank accounts magically popping up, and then I had to call TD Bank, like, I just called you guys last week. How did you allow more accounts to come on? So they had to send it to level 1 investigations and stuff now to look at it in the back end to see what the hell's going on. And then the whole thing with Instagram, then to come to find out, my brother and sister got the same emails. So somebody was attempting to log into theirs too.
Somebody said in the chat that they also got an email from Instagram.
yeah, it's just mad weird that it's just like all these different things. So now I have to like check my account almost like every day, a couple times a day, to make sure that nothing new pops up.
Right. Now, as far as the emails from like Instagram and stuff, like when they send stuff like that, 9 times out of 10, it's not Instagram. What it is, because sometimes I get that too. It could be phishing, but then it could be people trying to log in with your username. Like
Well,
I
I looked.
use my username and try to log in to break in. It's like, no, idiots. I did not request a password change. So you know what I mean? So sometimes it's people like that who do that.
Yeah, so I looked and like there's like Instagram contact thing option in the settings,
Mhm.
and they did send those emails to me. It was officially from Instagram.
Okay, so then if it's officially from Instagram, that's somebody trying to hack into your account that knows your username. Because I
Yeah.
get those two people will put in my name and, you know, try whatever password and be like password reset. So yeah, that's a safety feature that Instagram will email you and let you know. I don't even acknowledge them anymore, but yeah, but it's somebody that knows your username. So it could, because I know you said you do stuff online. So it could be somebody from like your podcast, somebody disgruntled, some weirdo, you know,
Yeah.
like anybody's like if I know your Instagram is Tim Rican, I can put in your username and then just keep hitting password reset, stuff like that. So sometimes it's just like, just people are idiots and they're bored.
And here's the weird thing. It's my regular personal account, not even my 10 Puerto Rican one.
Oh, so it's your personal, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be somebody that personally knows you that's trying to just mess with you then at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's that. The other thing I want to bring up is like you mentioning Clubhouse earlier. So I loved Clubhouse in the beginning.
I remember you were a big proponent. What's up? Spill the tea, sis.
So I know the Android people are gonna get mad, but once the Android heads, it was like once they came on in mass, all of a sudden I just see like, I mean, I would say it's worse than a YouTube beef now.
Okay, first of all, you're not gonna put this on the Android users. You're not gonna make it look like we're ratchet just because we don't have the best connection, just because when you FaceTime us, it's grainy. You're gonna put it on the Android people. So once Android came, we just turned ratchet.
So there was always some rapture people in Clubhouse, but it was like once they were like maybe like a week or two after, they're like, hey, it's Android. And I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm like, because half my people are Android heads. Like my husband can't stand Apple. He hates them. So I was like, oh, perfect. I could finally send rooms to my husband, my friends, et cetera, that aren't on iPhones. So I was so excited about it. All of a sudden, all I just see are these beef rooms. I mean, like that is now half the list now is like these people beefing with each other. Like it is really bad now. And I'm like, what the hell?
I heard
Like,
it's very toxic on there. Like it went from it being like all those like spamming gurus, $2,000 and I'll teach you how to start an LLC. So that was like the big thing. They're pushing all these entrepreneur programs and LLCs and all this stuff. And then now it's gone from that to like just straight toxic rooms. Like they said there's rooms on there where they just go in and drag Black women, like everything they hate about Black women, and things like that. So yeah, it's sad that people take these apps and they just corrupt them.
Yeah, and the rooms that because I've met some really awesome people in some of these rooms, but the one room that I was like logging into religiously, basically, like where I met like a really cool group of people and stuff like that, they recently stopped that room and now are going to be focusing more on crypto and stuff like that, which I totally get, but it's like kind of like, man, it's kind of like, especially with being in lockdown and I hardly get like human to human interaction. I'll finish the sentence. But basically, long story short, I feel lonely. I lost my room, but that's it. I'm complete.
All right. Thanks for calling in, sis. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, I've been hearing all types of, like if you Google, a lot of people are saying things like, is Clubhouse dead? And I think where Clubhouse messed up is that initially they did just have it so exclusive. You needed an invite. You can only have an iPhone. So, while it built up hype initially, I think that hype has just died down. And that was one of the things I talked to with Spotify, because I remember when Devin sent me the Clubhouse invite, because at that point, Android users could come. So I went on Clubhouse. I didn't use the name Lovely T. I just made up a name and, roamed around some rooms. And all I heard were just people talking and just going back and forth and shouting. And there was just no structure. It's just if your microphone is unmuted, you can just shout and talk over somebody. It was just weird. And so it was just too much noise. It was just too much noise. I logged out and I haven't been back on Clubhouse. But I just heard like a lot of the rooms now, it's just not like what it was at first. I think at first it was like a really good idea. And then somehow just kind of fell by the wayside. But again, the Clubhouse app kind of built up because of the drama from like DJ Academics and Meek Mill. And it's like every time you got leaks from Clubhouse, it was always some type of drama. So from what Spotify is saying, this is supposed to be a more clean version, more professional. There's options to have moderators. You can remove people. And then I know the lady was even saying that if somebody's just in there trolling, you can contact them to permanently just remove that person, out of your green room and stuff like that. Not that they can't create a whole nother profile, but it looks like that is something they're taking more seriously, is like the trolling and the drama that comes into these audio rooms. So we'll see how it goes. Let me go ahead and it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Shan Sublan. Let me go ahead and unmute your mic. Shan? She's unmuted, but I don't hear her. Okay, let me go to Dania. Dania, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I couldn't hear me. I went to the basement of my job.
Okay.
Service is horrible.
You sound good
But
now.
Auntie, people been trying me today. I don't know what it is. My mom put a restraining order on my brother and I like a couple months back. So we've been like on our own since. And I have a graduation that I have to go to, like a cousin of ours. And I told my little sister, do you want to come with me? She was like, yeah, I'll just ask mom. So now my mom is like, oh, now I have to now contact my mom to get permission. But restraining order says I cannot contact her. She can only contact me.
Why did she
Like,
put a
even
restraining order on her kids? I'm confused.
so she found out my brother and I were smoking weed, and it just never sat in her spirit.
She put a
Ever
restraining order
since then.
for smoking weed? Is she like in the church or what?
Haitian 7-day Adventist woman just did not like nothing about it. It's a lot more to it, but it started off with weed, and then an event, something happened like a day after Thanksgiving, and we just been in disarray ever since.
Now, how old are you and your brother?
I'm 25, my brother is 20.
So for the most part, y'all look grown.
But I'm just kind of annoyed because we've been going through this process where my sister is kind of like the messenger.
Okay.
And I can't contact you. On legal papers, you can only contact me and I can answer, but I cannot give her a call. So she's like, oh, how are the courts gonna know if you call me? I'm like, listen, lady, I know you, because when we went in front of the judge, she sat there and boo-hoo cried, and my mom does not cry for shit. And I was just like so shocked, and like the judge was like, cut it out. But it's just kind of like really annoying because like, the situation. You put us in a situation where we can't really speak or be around my sister the way that we want to, even my grandmother. Like, I have a feeling like my grandmother's gonna pass away really, really soon. And I feel like that's definitely gonna affect me like really, really bad since I'm not able to be around her because she lives with my mother right now. But
so I see a lot of people in the chat. They're saying that that's how Caribbean parents get down. They're saying Haitian parents, Jamaican parents are all traumatic.
To the extreme, like honestly, like the reason why I started smoking with my brother, he started smoking first. Like I just became like a pothead for real. But my brother's been smoking, but even when he moved out the house. But I only was just like, smoking me, so he didn't like get a bad batch from the wrong person. And like when we started like looking for cars and looking for apartments, it just didn't unsettle her. Like I feel like during the pandemic time was the time to really get to know your kids, find out what's going with them mentally. And she just detached herself all the way. But that happened today. I really got upset. My sister got upset because she was just like, why can't we just go to, me being the messenger? And she's just like, no, I want them to contact me to ask for permission. And it really pissed me off because it's like,
But, okay, that doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna follow a restraining order to keep y'all from me, but then I want you guys to ask me for permission. So why doesn't she just get rid of the restraining order?
if that's what she wants to do, that's fine. Thank God they took the restraining order off my sister because she put my sister's name on it, but then the judge took it off because they knew, like, they could see, like, we never put my sister in any harm's way at all. But aside from that, then I hear that family members are sitting and still talking shit, and I really want to fight. Like, I'm in my bag and I want to fight somebody. Like, I want y'all to come say this shit to my face so I could fight. Like, that's just been me today. Like, everybody's just like trying me, and that was just like the icing on top. Because when it comes to my sister, I'm very protective over my siblings. I do the best that I can. I pull shit together, and it's just like I'm minding my business. People are on block, but our names are still being brought up when this situation happened in December. Like,
well, that's how Caribbean and African communities are. They all gossip about their children. That's how they do. And they love to compare their kids. We go through it too in African culture. They love to compare their kids, and it's like, your kids ain't no better than this person's kids. You just don't know what the hell your kids are doing.
Exactly.
And I think that's the sad part, because that is, and it creates animosity where even like sometimes the cousins won't like each other because the parents, all they do is compare. So that's why they're talking mess about you guys, because now it makes them feel good. Because now the eyes are on their children. Everybody's focusing on you and your family's drama, unfortunately, But I think
we cut all communication. We cut all communication, especially me, because I'll take. It's just,
you look like you want to cry.
I'm tapped out because I want to fight. I really want to fight. Like, it's just, I mind my business. I never said anyone to, even after the court, like, nobody came down. Nobody came down to the courthouse. Nobody tried to stop the situation. And
I'm
sorry.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But now everybody wants to help. Now everybody wants to know what's going on.
They're only trying to do it to be nosy. It's because if they really cared, they would have talked some sense into your mother and say it's not that serious.
And I know that, but my sister, my brother, they're like so vulnerable, like, because they're like doing that vindictive, narcissistic shit. I see through it because I've been through it, and I have like an uncle that's like estranged from the family. So he gets it. He understands. But it's just like my little sister, she's with him 24/7. And it's annoying. It's annoying. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And make sure you read the chat. Everybody in the chat is sending you lots of love and prayers and hugs and things like that. They're sending you a lot of
appreciate you guys.
positivity.
You guys have all helped me out this whole pandemic, honestly.
Good.
You guys have no idea.
I'm sad to hear that. I just hope, I hope and pray like everything eventually works itself out, with your mom and your family. It's just very hard, when you have, it's different cultures. And in the Caribbean, they feel like, you're the child and you're going to be their child until you're like you're 50. Same like in African culture, the same way, unfortunately. But I hope it ends up working out because it's.
I want to say, guys.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys, but that's pretty much it. That happened today. That had me hot. And my sister told me, I'm like, listen, stop talking that mess in front of a 13-year-old. She doesn't need to be around that. She don't need to hear all that stuff. Because she knows it's not true, but still, like, I know it makes her feel some type of way when people talk about us like that.
Yeah. No, we definitely get it. But keep your head up, sis, and stay strong, and come into the Discord anytime you want to come in there and chop it up and talk to people.
I appreciate you guys. I'm about to go back to work.
Okay, thank you for calling in. Take care.
No, thank you. Bye.
Bye. She's so sweet. Yeah, that is sad. And a lot of people are saying some really good things in the chat, as well, about them dealing with like toxic parents and things like that. And all you can do is just break that generational curse for the next generation. So it's crazy, but you guys, it's 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna go ahead and log off the Zoom. I'm gonna set up the green room meeting. Whoever wants to swing over there, you guys can. We're just gonna probably talk on it for like 30 minutes. It's not gonna be anything too deep. I don't know what keeps beeping in here. Ciao. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this Zoom meeting. I'm gonna post all the information on the Discord. So I'm gonna add everyone. I'll post on the Discord so you guys can come into the green room and we can test it out and see how it works. So I'll see you guys. Thanks again. Thank you, Marquis. Appreciate you.
T, we need to find out what that beeping noise is. Make sure you're okay. We don't need nothing
No, it's
going
like
on.
a phone. It's like one of my phones. It's like one of the phones. I have I just don't know where it's at. It's like an extra phone in here because I was like, now that I thought about it, I was like, must be that phone. Yeah. But thanks, you guys.
I love you.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
team.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.